Call to order the city council meeting for July 13th, 2023. Everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kevin Kadada.
Here.
Tim Root.
Here.
Cindy Fuhr.
Here.
And Scott Palava.
Here.
Okay, tonight's agenda goes through 10F. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Mayor, I request that consider approval to reject the bids received for the City of Lonsdale's public building structures roof replacement and authorize staff to advertise the project for bids be added to the agenda.
So that would be item number F?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Motion to approve with that addition.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Kadada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes. Consider approval of the minutes from the June 8th, 2023 regular meeting, the June 16th, 2023 special meeting, the June 26th, 2023 special meeting, and the June 29th, 2023 regular meeting. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes?
Will we approve the minutes as presented?
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no public hearings. Presentation of citizens' petitions and comments. Comments limited to 2 minutes. Nothing on the consent agenda. There is no old business. On to new business. Consider approval of application for payment number 1 in the amount of $158,491.22 to BKJ Land Company for the Stika Park Skate Park project. Shabani Bison.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. This is the first pay request for the Stika Skate Park. The concrete pad has been placed, restoration has been installed, and for the most part, the project is complete. There were additional costs for excavation in an area beneath the pad that really just had poor soils. And so there's a little bit more cost on the project. This first pay voucher is in the amount of $158,491. That does include a reduction for the retainage in the amount of 5%. The contract amount is $154,930. So this first payment is a little bit above that, and then the final payment would be additional costs with the retainage release after restoration is established and the contractor provides all the final documents and punch list items are completed. So again, this is the first pay request. The pad was poured in mid-June here with restoration following that. And so we would recommend approval of this first pay voucher.
Do we have an estimate what the total will be with the added excavation?
The total is probably about $170,000.
Okay. And that was basically as a unit price, or how was that?
Yes, it was based on cubic yards of excavation and then fill of granular material
Okay.
measured.
This is something that wasn't discovered beforehand? This came up after
Well,
they
if council
started, or-
recalls, we had bid this project with a 1-foot sand section and a 3-foot sand section, given we had soil borings and knowing that this is an old compost site. From an engineering perspective, it was recommended to have the 3 foot of sand, but council awarded it based on the 1 foot, and so it was kind of just a field determination by staff, given the nature of the soils encountered and kind of the debris is my understanding.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
On that whole, Pat, I would say the area that went down a little bit deeper was smaller than the distance between us.
Okay.
So it was just in that southeast corner.
Okay. Move we pay voucher number 1 to BKJ Land Company in the amount of $158,491.22.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of application payment number 1 in the amount of $142,497.65 to M&W Blacktopping LLC for the 2023 Trail Improvement Project. Shabani.
Good evening again. This is another pay request, the first pay request for the trail project, which included trail replacement at Trenda Park, 8th Avenue, and in the backyard areas of 15th Avenue, adjacent to the wetland. The trail paving occurred at the end of June, and so this first pay request reflects the paving and some of the restoration. We're working with the contractor to complete stabilization and restoration along the trail areas as well. So this first payment is in the amount of $142,497.65. That does include a deduct for retainage in the amount of 5%. And then the contract amount is about $207,000. So this project came quite a bit under the contract amount. Quantities still aren't finalized, so, but I believe for the most part, this does include, all of the paving, which is the larger cost. So staff is recommending payment, this first payment to M&W for this project.
I assume, Joe, you've looked at both these projects yourself and
Yes.
satisfied?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve application for payment number 1 to M&W Blacktopping.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of a quote submitted by Tim's Trucking, Inc. in the amount of $12,515 for site preparation for the Public Works Storage Building. Mr. Dornfeld.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Lonsdale staff has entered an agreement with Ram Buildings to construct a 40 by 100 storage building. The site plans were reviewed by staff and presented to Planning Commission on the June 12th meeting, and council authorized staff to obtain bids for site preparation at the June 29th council meeting. Staff recommends approving the quote submitted by Tim's Trucking for site preparation for the 40 by 100 storage building. The city has a good working relationship with Tim's Trucking and is pleased with the work that they have done for the city in the past. Tim's Trucking was also the low bidder. Staff contacted 4 contractors for site prep, which were Tim's Trucking, Badger Excavating, DeRudder Excavating, and Trichka Construction. The site work must be done before Ram Buildings arrives to construct the storage building. This work does not include drilling post holes and footings, as that work will be done by Ram Buildings. I can add that Ram Buildings has contacted me and they are planning to start construction of the shed on August 15th. The fiscal impact is this expense will be taken out of money budgeted for the storage buildings, and the alternatives are to not approve the quote by Tim's Trucking and approve a quote from a different contractor. The bids that I received are all attached. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
One guy must have been looking at a different job.
I
I saw that.
Or didn't want to work at all, whatever.
Yeah. I think there's a few different trail projects that Tim's has done here and smaller, road repairs, and I think they're doing a great job.
trail projects, we've had them on a couple water main breaks, the police department, just a handful of jobs around town, and they're a great company to work with.
I move we approve the quote submitted by Tim's Trucking for $12,515.
Motion by Councilperson Fear.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kadada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of a quote submitted by Territory Fence in the amount of $6,580 for fencing at Trenda Memorial Park. Mr. Dornfeld.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Staff recommends hiring Territory Fence to install fence from the existing fence in the northwest corner of the Trenda Memorial Park all the way to the tennis courts. This fence will be a 4-foot tall black chain link fence with one 4-foot entrance and one 10-foot gate for maintenance equipment. Staff requested bids from several fence companies and only received 2 responses. Territory Fence is a contractor located in Lonsdale and does good work with good reviews, and they were also the low bidder. Over the past several months, there have been discussions about renovating the area around the grandstand at Trenda Memorial, and kind of an update here. Railroad ties are all out, concrete is done. In bold here, the last item remaining is to get the fencing done. The Aces have painted the concession stand, the fascia on the dugouts. Public Works staff has the landscaping, mulch, shrubs, and flowers all in. We painted a logo behind home plate. We today just finished staining the logo on the entrance. Foul poles have been painted, urinals been put in. The park is looking really good. It is really coming together. It should be a pretty good highlight for Fox 9 next Wednesday. Fiscal impact, this project had a budget of $60,000 with $50,000 from city and $10,000 from the Aces. The alternative is to not approve the bid from Territory Fence. I do not have an exact total of what this project is at. I have to sit down and tally all those up. I am anticipating it to be under budget.
Good.
Now, is this fence gonna be in before that event or not?
Pending approval tonight, he can install it tomorrow.
It's looking good. I stopped by before I came to the meeting, and everything's, you got your cones out there protecting what you painted on the, I'll say
Yep.
plaza area. So, and the plantings look good, and all the decking looks nice. Really.
Yeah, it's really coming together. The guys have really been working hard. All the sod, everything. It's the watering schedule. Mike Yetzer's been helping us out with the water. The Aces have been helping with the water. It's really kind of been a team effort from all 3 entities. My Landscaping, the Aces, and Lonsdale Public Works. Just getting it all done, and it's all coming together really good.
Here's a little side note, but 43 years ago, that site was graded for $2,950. Remember that, Joe? You were on the board that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that when they took the road out from the?
They graded, they took the hill, there's kind of a hill, kind of went down farther and took that back. And yeah, won't even pay for half the fence today, you know? Yeah. Anyway,
I move we approve the quote submitted by Territory Fence for $6,580.
motion by Councilperson Fuhr.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of an agreement between the City of Lonsdale and Safe Assure Consultants, Inc. in the amount of $5,065.62 for OSHA compliance and safety training. Mr. Erickson.
All right, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I see in the packet this got placed after the agenda, so. So our agreement with Safe Assure is ending at the end of this month. We've contracted with Safe Assure since the beginning of '04 and are satisfied with the policies, training, and the mock OSHA walkthrough that they provide us. The cost proposed for the 23-24 year is $5,065.62, which is a larger increase than the last several years, proposing a 9% increase compared to a 2% increase over each of the last 3 years. The city has and will continue to receive compliant policies and training as required by OSHA standards that pertain to cities. In addition, they do the mock OSHA walkthrough. They provide us online training for employees that can't attend our required training, also online for the seasonals as well. They also provide us our SDS safety manuals or data sheets online. All written programs and services that are produced by them are guaranteed to meet OSHA requirements. If the city would be cited for a violation of anything that Safe Assure worked on or assisted us with, they would reimburse the city for that fine. This is a budgeted expense for 23 and will be divided proportionately amongst each department. Alternatives would be to not enter into the agreement and either conduct the training in-house, which would require staff to get trained in safety training, or contract with another company that provides a similar service. And then included with the staff report is the proposed agreement and the 23-24 safety training schedule. I guess unless there's any questions, staff would recommend approval of the agreement between Safe Assure and the City of Lonsdale.
I think it's a good program to have a outside firm do this. They're gonna be the most up to date on all the OSHA.
And we've had
compliance.
OSHA inspections pop up, have we not, in the past few years?
Yes, we had OSHA walk through the entire city, or at least city facilities 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Resulted in
There were no defects found, so obviously
none.
they're doing the right thing.
I move we enter into agreement with Safe Assure.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval to reject the bids received for the City of Lonsdale Public Building Structures Roof Replacement and authorize staff to re-advertise the project for bids. Mr. Erickson?
Right, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I've been working with our insurance company to get the hail damage that happened to 21 of our buildings repaired. Given the anticipated expense over the $175,000, the city's got to comply with the competitive bid requirements of being advertised for 21 days. Worked with a consultant that drafted up the plans and specs along with our insurance company. We did receive 2 bids. They were due 10 a.m. on July 6th. The bids that were submitted did not include all of the required information. That's why we're recommending that they be rejected and the project be re-advertised. Looking at getting this in the paper and Finance and Commerce each of the next 2 Tuesdays, with the bid opening of August 18th at 10 a.m. The fiscal impact of the city would be our deductible of $1,000, with insurance picking up the remaining portion of that. Just given the time of the year and contractors being busy and trying to get as many bids as we can and as competitive as we can, we are looking at extending the completion date out to July 1st of '24. So if we can get some done yet this year and the remaining balance completed next spring, early summer, again, hopefully that gets more people, or more contractors interested in and competitive pricing. So,
Does the insurance have a deadline on when the work can start and when it needs to be done by?
I've been working hand in hand with them, and actually, our adjuster is the one that recommended extending the completion date out till July of '24.
And a lot of the residentials are, 2 years and work needs to be completed.
We've got a similar timeline.
Okay.
Well, if I remember correctly too, don't you legally have 2 years to file a claim after
Right.
that? So I think,
Yep.
I don't know how all the ins
Depending
and
on when it
outs, but
starts, when the
Yeah.
time clock starts.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to reject the bids for the city structures.
Motion by Councilman Palava.
Second?
Second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That concludes the planned agenda. On to department reports. Mr. Dornfeld?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As I said earlier, Public Works has been pretty busy down at Trenda, just getting everything ready. We've also painted all the curbs on Highway 19. The Veterans Memorial was pressure washed and resealed. The demonstration lane on Industrial Park, or on Industrial Drive, is complete. The split rail fences all around town have all been stained. Still are planning on staining the archery targets and deck. There's some event coming up in the near future that will be all done for that. I've been dealing with insurance on a claim on truck 3 for the hoist that broke. The truck did go down to Christsteel today. The other things are the water treatment plant control panel. We had a injector line break inconveniently right across from the touch panel. So that is out of commission. I got word today that will be reimbursed and everything will be good. For the first time in quite a while, the lead and copper samples all passed. So the city is in compliance. Just need to cross our fingers for 2 more years to get back in the good standing. Today we had a public works meeting, Joel, Shabani, and myself. I just went over finalizing the punch list from 22 project, updates on the CASA 4. The sewer line is all in and completed. Trail work's completed. Things are all wrapping up around town.
What is the update on CASA 4?
The meeting on Wednesday, they are going to be excavating the fill that's on top of the sewer line. They put it in too big of lifts. And then there was an issue with a storm drain that they weren't accounting for or surveyed incorrectly. I had to meet with them and just explain that that drain needs to work no matter what.
Right.
So, Bill, the county engineer, I believe they are lowering their storm sewer to make it work. And I think we have yet to see the exact effects of that for the ditch that's running to the west, where those elevations will all end up. July 19th is the planned switch over for the fire hall, which will work with Kevin for the concrete work, so everything kind of lined up really good there. Other than that, I don't have anything
Do you know,
else.
is the project on schedule? Do we have any idea of completion date? Does anybody know that?
The goal is to have the project done before school starts.
Okay. Okay, I mean, good.
I think the main thing is they, like Joe said, they're gonna do the switch over and excavate the subgrade out and put the concrete stabilizing base or layer in there. And then focus on the utility crossings further to the west from 5th Avenue down to the school. And just work on subgrade and grading and
Good. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Shabani, do you have anything else?
No, I think I kind of updated you on the projects that have wrapped up with Stika Park, the mill and overlay project's done, the trail project, and just working with staff on just coordination items and looking at budgeting and CIP and things like that.
Thank you. Mr. Erickson?
All right, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. As far as the community development planner position, I received contact from 6 parties that were interested in the position. 3 actually submitted applications. I'll be reviewing those probably over the weekend and getting in contact with the HR committee to schedule interviews. As Joe said, Town Ball Tour, Fox 9, next Wednesday, the 19th. Just a shout out to the ACEs and the help that they provided, and also Public Works for spearheading the project and working with contractors to come up with plans and coordinating bids and just improvement schedule and everything like that. I think it turned out really well.
Sure.
So
I mean, even things like painting the curbs down there by cases and stuff. I mean, that's noticeable,
Yep,
noticeable improvements.
yep, no, it turned out really great.
Okay.
Worked on our, I guess, both property insurance and health insurance renewals. Up to date on building permits. Earlier this week, I met with the TCU superintendent and community ed director to talk about how the city can work with the school district and businesses on job shadowing with local businesses. There seems to be some interest from the school district and businesses here in town to get high school students some experience, real world experience in whether it's the trades or administration, things like that. So I believe they're gonna come to the August EDA meeting to go over this stuff.
Community Development Director, that'd be a good educational.
Project number one. Working with APG on the EDA videos. Received a email with a award notice that our grant application with the Snow Wizards for $75,000 was approved for funding. So now we've got to go through all the paperwork and steps that have to be completed to, I guess, receive the funds. So I'll be working with them on that. I think everyone responded. I'm just waiting on a couple more responses for the skate park ribbon cutting for August 8th at 6:30. So I think as of right now, only one person said they couldn't make it. So I'm waiting on 2 or 3 more people, but I penciled that in. Had a meeting Monday afternoon with MnDOT and their consultant on the roundabout, Highway 19 and County Road 2. We reviewed the third option, which was a elliptic design, which is more of like a oval or kind of track, kind of elongated. It is not a restricted roundabout, so I guess from the city's perspective, I was happy with that. They still do plan on pouring some concrete behind the back of the curb, just in case there are people that cut the corner too sharp. But it is not restricted. WB 62 semis in their modeling are able to make it through, make that right-hand turn back east on 70th Street. We talked about the roofs in the bid. Let's see. Sent the ad for affidavits of filing to the paper today to be published next Tuesday the 18th. That starts August 1st through the 15th. And so our next meeting would be the budget meeting on the 24th.
Well, thank you for all your work. Hopefully get another staff person here to give you some assistance.
Would be nice.
Thanks. Thank you, thanks again. Councilman Kadada?
Planning and zoning, being we are short-staffed, I believe we are taking July off, correct?
I'll send that out tomorrow.
Yep. And Parks, we'll have a joint session for the budget meeting on July 24th. And Park Board likes to definitely send a thank you to the Public Works and city staff for taking care of everything for the town ball. It's shaping up great. Thank you.
It's not only that, it's all the parks. I mean, the pickleball and the soccer fields. It's all pretty impressive for a small town,
Touched
really.
on pickleball. I do think we're gonna need a permanent site for that. That is
It's
Yeah.
used
picking
a
up.
lot.
Is it?
It really, we're getting so many requests for the lights to be on.
Really?
Yeah, it's really taking off.
Yeah, it'll go, I'm sure. Good deal. Thank you, Councilperson Fuhrer.
The EDA will be meeting next week.
Thank you, Councilman Palava.
The only other thing I could think of is, just under a month is Community Day, and we are still looking for volunteers. And I was looking to see if I could find the email address, but I can't. So, if anybody is interested in volunteering, Matt Litchke with, First Crack Auto Glass, or, Jake, Cromie with McIntoons, there are, volunteer chairs. So if
Alright.
they wanna reach out to them, they can,
Good.
they can get you scheduled.
I'm sure can always use volunteers.
Always
I'm
can,
sure.
yep.
Yeah. No, it's a wonderful city, and like, I think some of the council members said, you guys have done a really good job, all the staff, Joe and Joel and everybody. Something to be proud of, that's for sure. That's all I have.
We adjourn?
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned.